Hello, bonjour, savant. How are we today? It is Saturday, March the 15th, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the beautiful shores of Lake Huron. Just wanted to come on today, had a very in depth, very loving meditation, I'm going to say, from the heart chakra. The vibration was very strong, it was very high. There was a very important message that came through, and it was about, and I'm going to use this word, and I don't know if this is a real word or one of these words that I get because there is no English word for what the message and information is all about. So I heard transvergence. I don't know. Is that a word? Maybe you can let me know. But I heard that what I'm going through, and I'm going to say if it's me, it's you as well, or the planet or the collective. There's this transvergence going on, and I didn't fully understand that, but I was hearing about how once we are sun energy again, like we go back to our sun element of light, then from there's this transvergence into pure light. So, in other words, we don't have this physical body in this physical realm or time zone at all accompanying us. So I'm hearing it because I'm asking, what does transvergence mean? And it's an emergence from this translational energy out of the dark into the light. So we're translating and emerging into higher light. So once we get the animalistic parts of the brain rested and digested out, once we overcome the reptilian brain, once we overcome dismay and disdain, we will no longer feel that vibrational pain. So it's an energy that holds us. It's like in our mainframe. It's an energy that holds us in disdain, or higher disdain. And therefore that translates into the blame shame game. And we're not to be participating in that frequency anymore because it dismantles the higher light. It ruins the higher energy frequency of the higher might. I mean, it's not like it can destroy it or wreck it or anything, but there's this transmutational energy that goes on. It's kind of like a push-pull. You're in it one minute, you're out of it the next, and it's like, until you get totally out of it. So it's almost like I'm seeing a picture of when you have something maybe caught in a bottle, and I'm seeing that you have to pull it out a little bit at a time because you can't just poof, release it all at once. It's a little bit and a little bit and a little bit until across time and the timelines that you actually juxtaposition it out of the lower mind. So it's a weeding out process. I know when I sit down in the spring and in May, and I start preparing my garden for planting for herbs and vegetables and fruit trees and that, bushes. I have to weed it out because over time, one little weed will turn into a million. So I have to sit down and I have to weed all of these plants out, undesirable plants. There is no such thing as a weed, it's just plants we don't want in our garden. And that takes time, doesn't it? I can't go out and in one day weed my entire garden. There's no way I can do that. It takes several days, non-stop work of getting the weeds out of the soil so that I can go in and plant what I want in there. So the plants I choose to nourish and grow, that will in turn nourish me so that I can live and grow. So it is a reciprocal process. We pull out some of the old way of being, the old nonsense, the old reptilian codes, and we start to ingest the higher codes. So it's a dynamic, so I'm hearing it like dynamic duo. It's like we feed the strength of others too as we go. So it's not just about us. And in my garden, when I plant certain seeds or plants, some plants, like there are particular herbs that will actually make the vegetables flourish. Like if you have, for instance, years ago when I did have a huge garden, I was growing grapes up a trellis, and at the base I put anise hyssop. It's a beautiful plant. It's gorgeous, the purples of it, and then the purple grapes. It's very attractive physically to see this in the garden when the anise hyssop is quite tall, and it grows up at the base of where the grapes are, and where you have that trellis stuck in the ground for it to climb on. I did it vertically, it wasn't horizontally. And it grows up, and the grapes do much better. They really flourish. So in that energy, it's a synergy of them working together. I can plant other herbs and it would have a destructive effect upon it. So again, we're looking at how do we help ourselves as well as others on this upward journey, this climb into the ascension process of higher light. Soon, we will not need any part of the animalistic codes appearing within us. They're going to be expressed out. Express posts, there the next day. Yeah, very quickly, they're going to be flushed out of our system of light and lower light. So this cosmic returning to our higher light is accomplishable this time around. For some of us who are genetically wired that way, we have a predisposition for that in this lifetime. So we can do the turnaround now if we so choose. But we can't be lobotomized by those who choose to abuse. Okay, so if we hang out with other people who are abusive, they malign other people, they're very low, they really like to command respect through dominance and control, power over. There's a cruelty to them, if you'll notice. There's a cruel streak in there. If you still stay inclined, you want to stay inclined to that lower mind, I'm actually hearing it as a demonic mind, then you will lose your chance for your higher divine line of time. We've heard this before with different words, expressed in a different way, but this is very powerful today. So this is what's opening up for us. I'm also hearing that as these newer energies are coming onto your planet, and we know this is eclipse time, full moon, the 20th is going to be the equinox. We are in a powerful momentum of time right now to push us forward quickly, like faster than ever. If you think that time has been sped up, you're correct. That is an accurate thought. But this is way more. And for some, it's going to feel way better, and it's going to be way better. And for others, it's going to feel way worse. So you'll be able to tell which camp you're in, won't you? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling worse? So if you're feeling worse, you're going to have to do a lot of work to get out of that and start feeling better. I'm hearing there's an age-old question: how do we feel better? We just let her. So we just let ourselves. We allow ourselves to feel better. think that sometimes, don't we, in this physical realm, if we get all wound up about something, we're upset about something, we're obsessively focused on thinking about something, that it just becomes, like the gerbil or hamster on the wheel. It gathers a momentum all of its own, and you just can't stop thinking about it. And the brain, you've got to find your off button, your stop button, your delete button, so that you can rest and digest and kick out of that way of thinking and being, that anxiety, I think is what people like to call it, and then step into your higher light, and that's the rest and digest. This is the central nervous system. It's all about getting out of your fight and flight and getting into your rest and digest. That's why we always recommend meditation and to do it every day. And even then, sometimes, I know, it just doesn't cut it. But going out in nature will definitely help. That is the one source of light that gives you respite. So we've been given this beautiful planet of light as our respite. It helps us, it grounds us. It helps us come back to our sanity so we're not insane with the blame shame game and all those other silly games of lower light. It's just a competition. We're not in competition with anybody or anything for any reason, any purpose, any timeline. Okay? Let's start to eradicate that from our genetics. It's not required for ascension. Let's put it that way. So this transvergence is getting us on to another timeline, a newer timeline, a higher line of time, the divinity line. It breaks the old genetic past timeline where we were not divine. This is an energy realignment in the higher line of time. So this transvergence is it's like a co-mergence. Getting all these words we don't know if they're, really words. There's a co-mergence with our lower line of time. We bring it up, we raise it up in frequency, and we switch it to the divine line of time, and off we go on our prime directive. We're primed for our higher directive divine timeline. And that's how we do it. That's how we function. From this old reality into our newer, higher, lighter vibe, way of being. It's a beautiful thing. Feels good. There's so much love here. It's easier and easier every day to get into this higher state of being, this love frequency, this love plane of existence, of thought and reality. And as you shift this within yourself, you are shifting it within everybody else. I'm sure you've heard this time and again from other people as well as here on this channel. But it feels good, as we knew it would. Okay. All right, I'm not hearing anything else, so I will wrap that up for today. If you do wish to book an appointment with us, you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca and book your appointment there. Take care of yourselves and others, and we shall be back soon with another message. I love you. Bye for now.